I fundamentally believe that aviation is one of the most important links that we have as a modern culture.
We help airlines and investors and stakeholders and governments make hard decisions with a big financial impact. And making those hard decisions involves structuring the problem, understanding and defining what is the problem to start with, then developing the analysis that looks at either best practice and gap or deep quantitative analysis and particular approaches that we can take to yield insight and enlighten the problem. That then leads us towards solutions which we can help the client tell internally and then tell up the line to the board.
Anybody can pull data and that anybody can look at it, but understanding what it's saying, understanding the insights from it, and being able to make a strong argument is very important. And what we have are deep analytical skills and deep insight into the aviation industry.
The great potential is in the airports because that's where people sit for hours on end. You can reach them, you can market to them. They basically are a self-selected audience. Running an airport is an amazing thing because you're usually running in a very structured regulatory environment, but you're also bringing to bear all of the private sector resources.
We do extensive work with airports and airlines all over the world. In Beijing, Kunming, in Shanghai, Sao Paulo, Mexico City, Seoul, Sydney, Durban in South Africa, and other locations around the world. We're really able to meet the needs of our airport and airline clients because of the geographic location of our teams, as well as the deep subject matter expertise that we bring to each of our client projects.
Years ago, in helping one of the Asian carriers establish its first presence in the U.S. Nowadays, you talk to any of the Asian carriers, they're all about how to maximize their deep exposure to the U.S. market. And so we've shifted from route planning as a spoke out of an Asian hub into how do you maximize your participation in a global alliance. These alliances are completely changing the nature of the game. You see consolidation in the U.S. industry, and you see a need to collaborate across national borders. And the alliances are the pattern that is emerging for that kind of collaboration.
When we're brought in to forecast for an airport, I need to understand what the local drivers are. The airport is wanting to understand its traffic forecast for the future, usually because of infrastructure needs. Do they need another runway? Do they need a bigger terminal? What's the time frame looking like in the future? So we're hired to do due diligence, basically to understand what the value of the airport, the asset, is going to be and how much firms should bid.
So when we look at East Asia, when we look at Europe, when we look at Africa, South America, North America, all of these markets have their unique aspects, and yet there are elements that are global to it. So as ICF continues to populate more offices around the world, it gives us greater brand recognition, and it gives us more of a base for the inherently international work that we do.